Welcome to another episode of the Stripes and Strings podcast. It is our 5th episode, and we're back at the house for a change instead of the last 2 episodes where I've had to do them both at the Blue Light location. But it's great to be home, and it's also great to have Brandon Adams in studio with us today. So say hi to everybody, Brandon.
Hey, everybody, Brandon.
What have you been up to, man?
Just driving a lot lately.
Do you have a rough idea on how many oil changes you've had to do recently?
Not as many as I should have gotten, but
enough.
but quite a few lately. I've bbeen driving a lot from Stephenville to New Mexico and up here to Lubbock and Amarillo, all around.
Right on. Where out in New Mexico, man?
Hobbs mostly,
Cool.
Carlsbad a little, it's like everybody thinks you go play more north, like Santa Fe, Taos, Red River, because everybody's like, oh, that's really cool. Then
Yeah,
you say
it's no, you're going to Butthole.
Yeah,
should be
yeah,
West
yeah.
Texas. Like nothing against
Yeah.
anybody listening from Hobbs or Carlsbad area, but it's like Lubbock. Lubbock, the landscape here is really not that great. The weather sucks, so we can relate to you guys.
Yeah, I grew up in that like general region, and I kind of know the people down there, and it's pretty cool. It has its qualities.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have any entertainment out there either, so it's really cool to go down.
Yeah, the whole.
They're very appreciative of what you do.
Oh, absolutely. The whole state, it seems, is just completely dry of original live entertainment, or even just people, bands going over there to play. A lot of big bands will go to the End of the Mountain Gods, or some of the casinos up in and around Albuquerque and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not. There's no local. At least that I know, there's very little local scene, especially a young scene. There's not, I grew up there, and there's not really many.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up outside of Ruidoso.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Capitan.
I knew that. In Capitan?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. I like it out there.
Oh, it's gorgeous. But growing up, it's like there was a guitar class in school. I didn't take it, should have. But anyway, even then, it was like, so does anybody really want to start a band or whatever? You listen to school rumors and shit, and there was no
Yeah, there's nobody to play with.
I mean, it's just, and it really sucks because there's a lot of talented people I grew up with. Maybe not talented musically, but there was just general talent. And so with that, you'd think that some of it could have that outlet, but there's no potential for it to go anywhere.
That's right.
So,
There's a lot of similarities between all that and playing music in Lubbock.
mm-hmm.
Because you can't go anywhere, and it's. That's what I was gonna say. Out there, there's not a lot of people that play, or that you could play with even, but there's always one guy that just shows up and just destroys it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hobbs. Ryan Bingham came from there.
Yeah.
I know he did a lot after he moved from Hobbs, but there's a dude in each town that's just amazing.
Right.
And sometimes they make it out of there, and it's really. Cool
it's really awesome to see, but there's not, there's not very many venues that support, live local music over there. There's not really a.
And it's mostly too because
of,
there's not a lot of people that would go to a venue like that.
The economy is just shit.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah, you wouldn't stay open very long. There's some really good places though. Don't get me wrong, and they do great.
Yeah, but
they're hard.
If I wanted to move
to
to Ruidoso, or if I wanted, Roswell has a bar right now, and it's called Way Out West, and it's kind of like a Wild West, I guess.
Doesn't the Pecos Winery or the
Yeah.
Liberty?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Roswell.
They do some events. They contacted Dalton when I was working with him. I don't know what happened to that, but I know that haven't heard of any acts that have gone and played over there or anything. But I know TC Fambro and Hunter Hutchison and a whole bunch of other people have played out at that Way Out West, and it's I've been there for a show. It's all right, but it's awesome to see that. That's starting over there, and there's people that buy tickets. There's people that go to the shows, and so that's really cool to see. It's a.
And that only that generally happens in those tourist towns, Roswell's real touristy with the alien stuff. It's kind of it's really cool too, but and the Ruidoso also is very touristy, and you would think
I don't think a venue would do well there, honestly, because if it wasn't tourist season in Ruidoso, because Lubbock or Roswell kind of has a year round. I mean, granted, their tourist season peaks around the UFO festival, but they in Ruidoso, it's there's 2 times when there's really a whole bunch, when it peaks,
Right.
and that's in the winter for the snow and shit, and then in the summer everybody goes for vacation or spring break,
And
But-
that's cool too. I mean,
But
when I'm in
the
Ruidoso,
locals
I
wouldn't be
really-
able to keep the scene alive. I really don't think, and I don't think that there'd be.
It's so touristy that a singer songwriter wouldn't thrive there.
No.
But like a cover band would kill it there. Like
Well-
the Mountain Gods is the same way.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a few, older dudes that are doing cover band stuff,
There's a
and that's
dude-
could but there's no cats my age that are out there.
Yeah, that's right.
You
And I've
know,
had some of the best
writing
times
or-
ever
or
at Win
playing
Place and
or-
show watching. There's this dude out there named Brendan Dawes. He he looks like he owns it when he's up there. He's wearing his shades, his mirrors, sunglasses while he's playing and
Nice.
stuff. And we went in and he plays all the old hits like George Jones and Gary Stewart, a bunch of great songs. And I just had a wonderful time. And I was like, thank God I'm not playing right now. I'm really enjoying this. So, every place has its way about it.
I don't know.
Whatever fits
I would
in.
be interested to if I found out a venue that was really doing that. I mean, they have a venue over there. It's called Grace O'Malley's.
Oh yeah, the
And,
Irish pub. I crept in there one night. I saw on Facebook.
See,
Dick's
I've
Hat
never been in there, but Dick's
It's,
Hat
it-
Band has played in there, and Randall King has a date coming up there in April.
Man, you know what? Okay, the people there at Grace O'Malley's are wonderful to work with, and they're really super cool, and they're really nice people.
yeah.
But it's an Irish pub, and it's a brand new one, and it's a really big, expensive one too, and it's great. I mean, it's cool to hang out in, but ultimately it's an Irish pub. So the band plays in like one of the nooks of it, out towards the bar.
Right.
But the bar is like it's not an open space. It's like cubicles of pub corners. You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of.
Kinda,
It's
I mean,
got
it's
like
hard
its
to
own.
explain.
I've seen it from the outside because I went home for New Year's this
And
last
it's
year.
like the band plays to the front door, but you can't stand or sit in front of the band. You have to go around a corner, and you can't see them.
Or creep on the corner of somebody's
or
cubicle.
creep on the corners of them while people are
Oh,
eating.
see,
and stuff.
that's horrible planning, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
it's not but if there's a humongous patio though, so if they could play outside on a patio, that would probably rock.
see, and I could see,
And it's right
I
on
could
the
see
main
them people.
street,
I
too,
could
so
see. I know a lot of bands that would probably go out there and play for for a patio gig if it paid well enough, because it's a distance to get from here to there.
Yeah.
It's only I think 3.5 hours drive. I mean, if you drive like me,
Yeah.
but or 4 hours or something like that. But it's not too,
Yeah, and it's okay, man. I mean, there's not a lot of places in New Mexico to play, so
No, that's kind of saddening to see, because I think that's a culture that could really benefit from having that sort of outlet, that sort of scene to see, to not just hear the pop country stuff, but it's that I mean, it's literally a state over.
There's just not that many people in the whole state, and the people that are there up north, the further north you go, the more artistic it gets. Lots of artists and musicians, and there's just a lot of them up further north you go, about around Santa Fe and north of there, all the way up to Colorado.
I haven't hit any venues up that way, but southern New Mexico definitely just needs something,
Yeah,
or something more.
I don't know, man. I feel the same way about everywhere in the oil field. There's just tons of people out there, and they all. I love people that go to work for the oil field. I get excited for people when they get an oil field job.
Yeah, I mean,
because I know they're about to come home with a bunch of money in their pocket.
they're about to have bank,
and they're going to be in a great mood for as long as they're working there. They don't mind that they work 100 hours a week. They are rolling in money that they didn't have, and they're like, yes.
right? They come home look like shit, but man, they're fucking
and
loaded.
it makes it weird at playing in the oil field, because
some of these dudes have to be back at work, and
and
6 hours maybe.
Yeah,
if
and
they're
then
lucky.
the ones who aren't working are only there to spend their money and get really drunk, and that's cool. I mean, it's your day off, man, but it's hard to keep.
It makes
it's
it
hard to
harder for entertainment.
Yeah, it's hard to get their attention because they're thinking about all this other stuff, and you can tell they're not really there for the music. They listen to the radio all day long. They want to hear what they know,
Right.
And but you get people that appreciate it, and they don't ever see it. So, they're not bad. It's just that you have to be patient for them to come around.
Right. So you have to go hit a couple of gigs, get your name kind of not, out there, or just where they hear it and they're like, I've heard that before.
Well, see, I've been playing for a lot of different audiences out there, and I see a lot of them come back, and then mostly just on a day-to-day basis. Like it's you see a lot of the back of their heads for a while, and then they'll
right before they
then
turn
you'll
around
see them
and
kind of
take
looking
interest.
up. Yeah. But, the places to play are like at restaurants and things like that. So it's not really,
Just
there's
in that area or
like
what?
we were saying, there's nowhere to play music. So, and Riodosa is the same way like Grace O'Malley's. It's not a music venue.
Right.
It's a bar.
It's not really a crowd that's going to be interested, you don't think?
Well, oh yeah, they will because it's
Right.
but it's not set up for that, and I think it makes it harder on the venues and the artists when their place is just not right for it.
Mm-hmm.
But they try and they love it, and you might have an owner or manager that loves live music, but
Overall, it
his
has to be
place
set
is
up
like,
for it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, here's to hoping that will happen out that way soon. Because
man. Well,
that definitely needs to happen.
Keep going out there and playing and
building
a scene up,
Yeah, it's encouraging to hear that Dick's Hat Band's been out there, that Randall King's playing out there, and that, you've played dates up north. Have you checked out and playing into the pub or?
Grace O'Malley's.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm usually when I go through there, I'll be acoustic, and I don't really. They want a full band usually, which is cool.
I heard their stage is kind of small.
There's a couple other little places to play out there too, like the Dreamcatcher Cafe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there in Midtown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I'll tell you, and then you can play at Farley's, like on their patio. But
yeah,
honestly, that Dreamcatcher thing is great because it's kind of like older people. Not like I know you're young and everything, but
right?
like,
but people around between my age and your age.
Yeah, exactly. Like just people out there hanging out in Riodosa.
Yeah.
And they want to go to lunch or go to dinner.
Or sit down and have a beer in Midtown.
Yeah, and enjoy the day and listen to some music.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. It's not a bad gig at all. And you get to meet a lot of new people at things like that. I'll tell you, this is a good story about that place. A long time ago, I don't know if you know Stephen St. Clair. Do you know Stephen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stephen St. Clair and Shane Rogers and Heath Tollison and myself and Nick Shute, the trumpet player.
Yeah.
We all went out to Riodosa. We're like, we're gonna write a song this weekend. And Stephen, his grandma had a cabin out there, so it's like we can use the cabin, take our guitars.
I can only imagine how much cleaning y'all had to do after y'all.
We
done.
had to clean that place. we had to make it spick and span before.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna leave it trashed.
But we took a shitload of beers down there.
Oh yeah, why not?
So we get there the first night. We're all fired up, man, about writing this song. So we took the whole night and wrote one song. You would think we would write more than that, but
right.
Steven ended up putting it on his album, and we recorded it right there in the cabin on this little handheld recorder.
Yeah.
And we put like some compression on it. It was really neat. It was like a digital thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we put Nick in the other room, and he played trumpet on it, and then all four of us are playing to have harmonies. And I hope Steven puts that record out so you can hear the song.
Yeah, no, I'm checked. I want to check it out now.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
supposed to come out next month, which I hope happens.
Heck yeah, man.
But we after that
put him in contact with me. I'd like to have him on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. He's great too, man. Fun to talk to. He's a very interesting guy. He wants to run for mayor, I think.
Really?
That was a joke, an ongoing joke, but I think he should, honestly.
I mean, why not? I heard Josh Abbott eventually wants to go into politics.
No, he wants to.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, well, if it's right for Josh Abbott, it's
good luck, Josh. But so we got this song done, and we walked over to that Dreamcatcher place and talked to the owners. We're like, we're all musicians, and can we play here? She's like, yeah. I can't pay you anything, but y'all can all set your stuff up and play whenever you want. Play for a couple hours or something. We'll feed you. It's like, yeah,
food.
The food's great.
Yes.
There.
Well,
so,
it's New Mexican food, man. It's got a flavor that I notice is not. It's definitely a local flavor for sure.
Oh yeah, it's great, man. And that we ended up making like nearly $300 in tips, I think, from just the people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and that's why, like, ever since that evening that we were there, I always want to go back because the people are they're just pleasant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they're just a very warm crowd.
Yeah.
Just good folk.
Mm-hmm. drinking their micro brews, eating a sandwich, and listening to some music.
Yeah, no, I when I went home, you know, there was a lot of bars that I didn't get to get into because I was, you know, I wasn't 21 or I was younger than 21 when I left home. And so, you know, when I got there,
I can smoke in the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we just won't tell Danny. Danny Saja, if you're listening to this, we're not smoking in the kitchen. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Danny.
Oh shit! Here comes Danny.
Oh, shit. Here comes Danny.
Oh well. So.
I'll put it out.
Raiders at Hawks. We can edit this part out.
Yeah, take 2.
But so there was when I went home, there were some bars I didn't get to get into when I was young, because I was, you know, younger than 21 when I left.
Yeah.
And they had this beer on tap everywhere, and it was I saw the cans. They had 6-pack cans and all the Allsup's and shit. And it's a yellow can with a red Zia on it. Just looks just like the flag. And I can't remember. I want to say it's called like Campfire beer or something like that. I don't know, but they had it on tap like every fucking place, and I wanted to try it, but I was like, I don't know, man. Like my goal was to go and just not get completely fucked up when I'm home because I do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just, you know, keep it calm. And I was like, well, I want to try this beer. And then it was like, no, well, you know, New Year's holiday, it's 11 in the morning. You know, I've already had 3. Probably need to chill out.
Yeah.
Had a good time though, for sure.
I love it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. The scenery is probably the one thing that is the most appealing to me. You know, going back there is just getting to see, you know, trees and wildlife and, you know, mountains and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Coming through the Hondo Valley and just get to see the landscape change from here to that. You know,
it's really
it's a very
nice
scenic
to get out of
drive.
Lubbock and see some scenery every once in a while.
Absolutely, man.
There's a real lack of it here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's not to say there's not some pretty...
No, there's some pretty spots out here. You know,
the sunsets here are amazing.
Oh, and at night, if you can, you know, get out away from, if you're in a populated area, if you can just kind of get out where the lights aren't so bad, you can just kind of, if you just stop and look up. And
I still think that mountains are fantastic, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's just supreme to look at one. It's cool. Having not been around it my entire life.
Yeah, well, and to think that, you know, everybody that we can reference, you know, in our memory, in existence as a human being, you know, that has passed through that area has looked at that mountain. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, really the landscape of the earth hasn't changed quite drastically since, you know, recorded history. I mean, granted, some floods and you know, hot spells and cold spells and things like that, but like a mountain really hasn't, you know, grown or shrunk over 1,000 feet in the last 300-400 years, 500 years.
Craziness.
So, you know, think, you know, and that area, for, you know, going through there, it's, you know, so related with Billy the Kid. It's like, you know, I remember growing up, it's like, you know, you never know if Billy the Kid like rode his horse over this mountain that
through your yard.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna camp right here tonight. You know,
yeah, Capitan, that's like right there by Lincoln, right?
Yeah, if you watch the first Young Guns movie, which is actually pretty. A lot of it's historically accurate. A lot of things are off, but it's pretty close to the point. And a lot of it was filmed remotely. I think all of it actually was filmed on location to where it actually happens. Like if you watch that movie, that's all like 10-15 miles from where I grew up.
That's awesome.
So, but you know, if it's within the first like 10-15 minutes, there's a character. He is referencing a pig that this dude owns in Capitan that barks like a dog. And I was like, that's like, my town's famous. It was on Young Guns, and nobody knows the reference. But as a kid, like you remember that kind of shit.
That's awesome. When I was a kid, my neighbor down the street was in a movie, and I was so jealous of him. He was in that movie, The Lord of the Flies, after the book.
No shit.
He was one of the kids. Yeah, we rode our bikes like all the time together. His name was Terry, and he was like a ginger kid, a lot of freckles and stuff.
Oh, so he's perfect for Hollywood.
Oh yeah, dude. And they had like a casting call, and his mom took him up there, and he got this part, and he came back, and the story of the book or whatever the movie is about all these military school kids that get stranded on an island.
Yeah, no, we had to read the book for school.
Like every day to school, this dude wore his military uniform, like his military academy uniform, like from the movie. He wore it every day.
Jesus,
it's like, dang, dude.
That's hard. That's fucking commitment, man.
I was starting to get jealous of his coat. I was like, that's pretty rad, man.
Well, I mean, after a while, you know, you just have something that you pull off.
Yeah.
You know.
that's just cool that you do.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I was really happy for him. But I was like, man, I know a guy in the movies.
Right on, man. So, have you been working on anything new lately? Like any new music you've been writing?
Yeah, I just got done making a EP in Stephenville.
No shit.
Yeah.
Where were you recording at down there?
At the compound.
Okay. Okay. So you're in on this debate, I guess, on who has the real compound.
I'm saying the Stephenville compound is the real compound.
I mean, their studios.
It's been around for a minute.
No, and that's fair. And in all honesty, when myself and my first roommate, when we all moved in here, it was like we were going to call this place the compound.
Well, I mean,
and
lie.
Then we found out like a week later from somebody else when we brought them out here. We were like, yeah, man, we call this place the compound. They're like, yeah, that's what Serato calls his place. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, this is a compound. I wouldn't use any other word for it. It really is. It's cool. And it's
compound east, compound west.
I see, and I give them the compound because this place that you live in is pretty nice. I mean, it's a really cool spot. Out there, not saying it's not nice, but there's 4 trailer houses parked right next to each other.
Right, so it's like your own little trailer park. It's like
your own
little Sunnyvale
trailer park. And all that lives there are saddle bronc riders and musicians. So it's
just nothing but beer drinking and punchiness.
Oh, man, punchiness. And like the other day, I went out there just to say hey, because, Red Shahan lives there.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Serato lives there. And then
Ben used to live out there, didn't he? Or does he still live out there?
He's getting married, so him and his fiance Lindsay.
Well, congratulations to them, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
I haven't got to see them in person since the engagement, I guess. So
I'm ultimately thankful and grateful for Ben and Josh for helping me out with this recording out there, though. Yeah, and we recorded at the compound too. So the studio's
in that middle trailer, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the middle one. It's closest to the big trailer where Jacobs lives. He's the boss man.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy. They're all really great guys. And there's just a bunch of them. I went out there the other day, and they had cut out this like human form of a person out of a piece of plywood.
Yeah.
And they had dressed him all up and painted a face on him and everything.
Oh shit! Where's it? I'm scared to hear where this is going.
Oh yeah, and Red's out there with a ninja sword. And they're taking videos of him trying to chop the head off of this dummy they made.
Please tell me they put it on the internet.
It's on my buddy Dean's Instagram. I'll pull it up for you. But it's really great, and they put it like they're putting soundtracks to it. But they spent 2 hours on this project.
But that's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, if I had the manpower and the crowd out here to do something cool like that, I mean, sure we get wild and do stupid shit. Like Caleb and I built the fire pit. You haven't got to see the fire pit yet. We built a fire pit in the backyard. Yeah. And that dude, we had two big concrete wheels that were probably 4.5, 5 foot tall almost. Mm-hmm. And we had to set those up and roll them clear from the pecan orchard out back all the way up here. And then after we got them set down, we had to roll one on top of the other one and set it down so it wouldn't break, and then dig the hole out so that it was the right size after we got it in there. And I mean, we did something cool like that, but nothing like chopping a fucking plywood scarecrow with a ninja sword.
Yeah. One day, Landon
fucking Red Shahan. He does the craziest shit, man. I got a Red Shahan story after this.
Oh man. We could do this for hours. Man.
Let's tell a couple of Red Shahan stories. Seeing as he's going to be at the Blue Light Saturday.
Oh yeah, he is going to be at the Blue Light Saturday. I'll tell you that. Okay, Landon Luna, the photographer for New Slang, came to town one time, and Red had this idea of putting, firecrackers in a beer bottle on top of his head and taking a picture of it exploding. And
wait, Landon took the picture?
No, that was the theory.
Or the beer was on top of Landon's head.
No, the beer was going to be on top of Red's head. And
see, that would be cool to do for like album art or something.
That's what he was going for.
Oh, cool.
Or a poster at the very least. So, But we're down by this trash pit doing it because we have fireworks.
Yeah.
So that didn't work because we tested it out on a bottle and it violently exploded. So
you're like, man, this could end bad, Red.
He's like, there's no way that's going on in my head. So we just ended up shooting Roman candles at each other and caught the fire pit on fire.
Oh shit!
But it was a burn ban.
Right.
So
you had to find a way to stomp that out.
It's like 500 yards away in the water trough for the horses.
Oh shit!
So Red's like making all these trips. All he has is like a gallon bucket. So he's making all these trips like for an hour trying to put this fire out.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, that was just a Tuesday afternoon and stuff.
Yeah,
But-
you know, living like us. You know, Tuesday, we got this.
One of my favorite things to do is hang out with that guy and just make hot sauce all day.
Dude, that man can fucking cook.
Oh, he can cook like crazy.
Man, there's actually that my Red Shahan story involves cooking. It was the same weekend that we had the I can't remember if it was the benefit for when Michael Mode got and Matt Newsom got robbed, but or broken into. But
Yeah, did Red do a little cooking?
it was when they did the goat. I don't remember if you were there or not.
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there.
Was
That
it
a good
for that event or?
I think it was something else. It was Landon Luna's.
Oh, that's right.
benefit
When
he got his camera stolen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Lubbock's dangerous and shit.
Well, I think he was in like Austin or something, or Atlanta or somewhere. It was someone with an A.
Oh,
He
shit.
got robbed. Yeah.
Well, you know, Michael Mode and Matt Newsom's thing was local, so.
Yeah.
But which it's horrible, man. I think there's a special place in hell for people who steal from musicians.
Yeah.
You know,
I know, right?
or steal from people who make their livelihood off of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no. So it was that same weekend, and they had the goat, and that goat was, oh my fucking god, it was delectable. And then there was the Sunday Fun Day for at David Wild's.
Yeah.
And that got out of hand. Of course, it was great music, and of course, awesome people were there, and we got thrashed. But me and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this over the radio or over the airwaves. I never thought I'd actually admit to this, but me and Caleb Alleman and I think Red too got an R branded on our ass that weekend off of the burger grill. We were all done cooking.
No.
It was a steak iron. He just sat that bitch on top of there, and he was like, "Who's up?" And he's like, "You get a copy of the free album, and if you get in life, you know, get in free shows
He
for
sent
life."
me a picture of that.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, I remember.
It looks nice, man. I've run a Brandon iron a few times, so I know what I'm doing. And everybody, I think somebody else branded Red, I think, or maybe Red branded himself. But somebody else branded Caleb, and I branded myself, and that shit fucking. I woke up.
Such a good idea, was
Oh
it?
no! I went to that. Like I said, it was on a Sunday Fun Day, and I went to work on Monday, and I was like, "Oh my god, my ass!" Like I'm gonna be working with this shit all day, and I was working at the feed store at the time, and so I was throwing around 3, 4, 5, 6 tons of feed a day, and God knows how many hay bales, and back and forth on my feet, and I was just like, oh,
Couldn't even sit down.
oh no, dude, it was. I mean, I'm not gonna be grotesque or anything, but there was just various things that made it difficult to be comfortable for sure.
No doubt about that.
No, but
That'll get you into those predicaments, man.
yeah, I think I need to find a way to party safer with Red. I think he needs to wear a parental advisory and a caution shirt, for when he hits party mode.
The last time that I hung out with him while I was playing, or he was in Lubbock. We were playing down at Crossroads, that dive bar down on Avenue Q,
Yeah.
by that Whataburger. Anyways, well, we make it a good time there and have a lot of fun people. So Red comes up there, and the dude was at a wedding with Art Portillo and those guys.
Art party's hard too.
Yeah. Well, I forgot who got married, but they had Mexican bingo there.
I've never played.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's awesome. Everything was just in Spanish, I guess. But
Right on.
But Red won all of this crazy shit, and one of them was a label maker. And he showed up at the bar with a label maker, and that was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I could see where this is going.
He wasn't even talking to people. He would if someone asked him a question, he would just punch it on the label maker, the reply, and stick it on him.
That's insane. Or I could just see how he'd label people.
This stranger came up to him and was like, "Will you make one that says margarita for my mom's glass?" And he just typed in "you're drunk" and handed it.
Did they put it on the glass?
Yeah, he made her one. But he was having a blast with it, and I was walking around the bar when I was done, and I just saw labels all over everything.
Man, I shout out to the staff at Blue Light, because I know they've had to clean up some of the craziest messes that I've made, and I know that I haven't made the biggest mess for sure. I mean, we've all dropped a beer bottle or spilt a drink, but there's all those labels, man, and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember if it was for New Year's or if it was St. Patty's Day or when it was, but I was at Blue Light one night and somebody had a fuckload of confetti. And I was just like, man, a bunch of people were pissed about it just because it was everywhere. But I don't remember seeing it again, so I think that's a pretty good thing to hear or to see,
I got to play at the Blue Light tonight.
Right. You're playing with who?
Christian Lee Hudson.
Right on, man. Where's he out of? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure he's from Los Angeles.
Really?
I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure he's from L.A.
Cool.
He's one. I met him through Daniel Fluitt with Thrift Store Cowboys.
Yeah.
And he came to town one time and he was playing somewhere like Blue Light or Local or one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to play all night by himself, needed somebody, and Daniel gave me a call. And I'm so glad I went because the guy, he's just a swell dude. And his songs are cool. And he's just, I enjoy it. He's very pleasant to play with as well. Like he's one of the good guys.
Yeah, just one of those guys that you wouldn't mind playing with as much as you could.
Yeah, exactly. And he's great, and he does well. He does well for himself out on the road. Everybody in Fort Worth really likes him a lot, and I know he does well out towards Nashville and Memphis and all that. So, but he's cool. His music is neato.
So he's on the road like 24/7, 365, or
no?
Do you know?
I think he gigs around, but I think he tours. He does big national tours like 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, cool.
Maybe not that much. Maybe 2. I don't know, but he'll go everywhere though, which is cool. But it's just him. I think he used to have a band. I think it might have been the Driftwood Singers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure on that either, but I think that was his old band. And they toured around quite a bit, and he got to meet everybody, and then he did his solo thing, and now he just goes around with the electric guitar.
Cool.
But it's really good, really good. His songs are cool. Like he's got one song that I wish that I would have written. Like why couldn't I write that?
Yeah, I hear a lot of that because I don't really. Actually, I take that back. I have been writing lately.
Yeah.
My neighbor, you met him earlier. My friend Connor Martin. We call him the Ox.
Yeah.
And he's just cool as fuck, man. He's a good friend of mine. But he's entered the spring comp, and he's been writing and playing and singing some lately. So and he played at Local and he's played at Blue Light. And but he's been bugging me. He's like, come over and write with me. Come over and write with me. And I'm like, man. I mean, I've been busy and stressed out, and just life fucking happens. But he's talking me over there to go over there and write, and I'm thankful for it, man. Because I go over there and I start writing with him for a second. I just I realize, I realize it's I'm probably not going to be a singer, but if I can contribute to help write songs for somebody anytime, that's a good feeling to have. Even if I'm not much help, it's still cool to be there and just be around the experience,
And writing songs isn't a stressful situation, really.
No, it's something anytime it becomes stressful is when there's some sort of ridiculous deadline you've put on yourself, or you're overthinking something.
That's very true. That's very true. But I thought I did that for myself for this record that we did, and I was like, I had this old album that we recorded. It was like 12 or 11 songs.
What was it called?
It was gonna be called Static, but ultimately it never got released because of our record label. Didn't ever do anything with it. So I tried to contact them about it, and they just don't talk to me anymore. So I just went ahead and made this EP, and I didn't want to pull any of the songs from that album to put on this,
Right.
But I did.
I mean,
I took 2 off of it, and I don't know.
Well, it's Static and
Spillway is the other one, and I just did Spillway by myself on that one, which is like some light percussion, and this one has a whole band on it,
right on,
which is way cool. It's a different song altogether, really.
And what about Reckless Heart? Was that on the?
That was on that album, but it was the only song they ever put out as a single.
Oh, so they're the ones who released that one.
Yeah, they released it. So,
because I was about to say, I know you put that one out. So I was just,
it's never,
one of yours
I've
heard.
I've never put it on anything. It's just
been there
out as a single. Yeah,
that's legit though. I mean, have you had? I mean, obviously it's had a lot of success here in Lubbock. I hear it on the radio often. It's one of my favorites. I request it.
Yeah, cool, man.
And so, but where are there any other stations that you play on or that song plays on?
Very few. Like the ranch still do it sometimes. KWBY in Stephenville will play it, and then dude, Corey Johnston out in Floydada. I don't know if you ever met this guy. He does
the name sounds familiar, but I can't.
106.1. It's like K-Flip. He was one of the first radio people that I had met, you know, and he's just a great guy. And I think Rhodey Morrow introduced me to him, or Will Green, one of them. But he's a super dude, and he plays like he played Reckless Heart like he spun it the max that you could do it like
right without it being like
without
okay.
them being like you're making this up. Yeah. But he did, and he's just a great dude. And like I go out to Floydada, Matador out there, and then it's wonderful. I know like everybody.
so you have like a following out there.
Yeah, well, you know, at this point,
or just a crowd of fans.
Yeah. I mean, they're just all. It seems like now I'm friends with like 400 people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't really consider them even followers or fans. I just know them all because they're cool like that. Oh, I drove through Matador the other day, and I stopped at the Chillers just to throw some stuff away from out of my car.
Yeah.
And like 4 people came out, like Brandon. And they're like, hey, what's up, guys?
Like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Where were you headed going through Floydada?
I was with Red actually, and yeah, he just like
another Red Shahan story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a good one too. Like most of the time, I'm with Red when shenanigans go down. But
I'm telling you, he's a magnet for this sort of thing.
So we go, okay, well, that was a good one. We were going to Olton to play that night. Mm-hmm. There's a guy out there in Olton named Hetty, and his wife. They're super people, and he has this little speakeasy in his garage, you know?
Yeah. But
I think he turned it into like an actual bar now. But he would give away drinks to people, you know, because he didn't have a liquor license.
Right.
And he was giving me and Red some cash to come through and play at his place. And it was fun. We had a good time, but we were ready to get to the blue light. But on the way, we stopped in Plainview, and we bought like $50 worth of hot sauce and a bag of chips.
Yes.
And played Burnout. Like, like we ate the hottest ones as long as we could until we couldn't eat them anymore.
Man, I've seen him talk people into eating bugs. Now the Burnout.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on to cause these sort of fun things for him?
I don't know, man. I'm not a psychotherapist, but I like it though. He's a funny dude, and he's a good guy. Like he'll show like if something happens, he'll show up and cook a bunch of goat for everybody. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a great dude, but he's just there's some people that just have that little tick on them, and they're just almost constantly on party mode or just magnets for.
I told him, I was like, man, I would have hated you in high
trickery.
school. I would have hated you in high school.
Right, because he would have been the one dude that's like, hey man, let's go do something fun, and you get caught.
Yeah. But he doesn't get in trouble.
No, because he's a very silver-tongued dude, but he's just such a cool guy. After he's kind of shy too. I mean, you don't. It doesn't sound like it from how we're talking about him for people who don't know Red Shahan. But the first 3-4 times I met him, I was like, I'm not sure if this dude likes me. He just didn't talk to me.
You know what? You're okay. I've been in Lubbock for a couple days now, and you're like the 10th person who's told me that exact same thing. Like, I don't know if Red likes me.
Well, no, I know he likes me now. But
exactly.
I mean, when I first, I've known Red for a couple of years
you'll know
now,
when you know, I guess, because he's like that, man. It takes a long time for him to warm up to you. But.
Yeah, no, we were there at the corner of the bar at Blue Light. Right there by the shooting jar.
Yeah.
And because that's kind of where everybody posts up, And we were standing over there, and I said something to him, like, hey man, what's up? And shook his hand, and we kind of both looked back over at the bar, and he didn't even look over at me, and he said something, and I was like, wow, Red Shahan spoke to me, and I was like, so we talked back. We talked about 5-10 minutes, and we've been cool since.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, he's trying to talk me into getting a brand on my ass successfully.
Oh yeah, then he's not your friend, man.
Well, I mean, trust me. I don't know. I was probably intoxicated enough at that point.
I know, right? It sounded like a good idea at the time.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that I'm not the only one who did it. I mean, not to make anybody, accuse anybody of being a follower, because I was kind of the last one to do it. But in all justice, I had left for a minute, was on my way back, and showed up on the end of this deal and was like,
there you go.
Why not?
Yeah, you got an R on your ass.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll be 50, and it'll just look like a cool-ass wrinkle.
Yeah. Well, you are gonna love it when his album comes out because it's really good.
Is he recording out at the compound as well?
No, man. He went up to Dallas and did one with the guys, those Fort Worth guys he plays with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ryan
doesn't he have Ryan Bingham's old drummer?
Yeah. Paul Paws. Yeah, I heard the recordings of it, and his drums make a world of difference on this record.
Really?
Yeah, they sound good.
Are they going to come out this way?
It took, I never really realized how good drums sound until you start making albums.
Yeah, well, and there's just certain people that you can watch and see play that you're just like, these people. It's not that makes anything that makes them any better, any worse than anybody else, but they're set apart different. I mean, drummers are already different people that you have to be.
Well, it's like realizing,
but they, there's the people, there's those that are set apart.
Yeah, and it's realizing too that some of them who aren't like the greatest of musicians that can just play like crazy, but there's a lot of the guys, the real good guys, have really nice, good sounding drums,
right?
And they're
simple and efficient, and they're flashy,
and they don't
need
mess
to be.
up
No, and they're all unique. They're never offbeat, but they're all doing. You can give 8 of them the same track, and they'll play it different.
And then you have guys that are just like crazy good.
Yeah.
Like Jay Saldana recorded on the EP that I did. The guy is one of my favorite drummers ever, and it's really cool that he comes from here in Lubbock.
Yeah, no, he's incredible.
Yeah, and it was really nice working with him in the studio because I know he did the No Dry County album. He produced that, and I was in the studio with him a little bit. I was like, and I just hired him to play drums on the album, but not really produce any. But he really brought a lot of that with him.
Yeah, kind of brought it to the table. It's like, hey man, if we're gonna do this, this would sound cool.
Yeah,
and it just kind of like
it's playing with people who like when you start hearing things and you know how the song is gonna sound, but they're hearing a lot more than that. It's really neat to work with them.
Yeah, and it's always nice to have somebody with a creative or somebody else with a creative mind involved with the recording and writing process. Just because. You can look at something, like this is my cell phone, okay? Yeah. And it looks, I'm looking at it, and you're looking at it, but you see it completely different than I do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the colors, the shapes are the same, but this thing means something different from its appearance to you than it does to me. And songwriting's the same. It's tomato, but it all flows.
And you can get guys like that, like Jay and Josh too, is like that. Ben as well. It's really nice working with them. But you can take guys like that, dudes. And they have, they play for the song, not really as opposed to just going in and playing their instrument to this part. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which a lot of musicians do that. And it's cool because they're probably not in your band and they're studio guys. And a lot of studio guys are great, but at the same time, you're at their mercy. With guys like this, they play with the song really in the front of their mind. Right. And there's nothing they really can't play if you want to do something like style-wise.
Yeah, or if you want to do any change-up, they're willing to play it out and listen to it. That all makes it
go by just so fast, though. Like, you really... If you have people that know what they're doing, you can make a record in a day if you put it all into it,
Right, like if you show up and you've got all your material down.
If you record it the right way, I mean, it's not hard.
If you had 48 hours to put into a studio with all of your material, using all of your willpower, your mind, your ability, and you got in there, you could just have it knocked out totally.
Yeah, exactly. And you have either guys
and the funds.
And yeah. Well, yeah, it'll help your funds, like
I mean, if you don't string it out, of course.
Yeah,
if you can just throw it down in a lump sum, but it's still not cheap to do that.
Most studios are day rate or hourly, so time is money every time you're in there. So you better practice before you go in there. Yep. Because it's just going to cost you money if you don't. And it's nice when guys like that come in, and you can literally just go through all the tracks and there's no problems. If they are, it's like something that's not anyone's fault around there. It's like a chord or a interface somewhere.
Yeah, technical issues. We've had technical issues here. With the podcast, there's been some clicking on a couple of our tracks, and that was an XLR cord. And first podcast, the curtain fell down, but that's because of cheap plastic and poor engineering. But it's there's just been a couple of things that have happened, but it's you can't depend on everything. Shit can happen. Strings break, man.
Yeah. And it was real crazy out there. I don't know why I'm talking about this record so much, but we recorded it in a trailer house, so there was noise coming from like everything.
Yeah.
Well, not really, and it never got in the way. It didn't seem like, but
like you hear it more than it's really.
Well, there was like one time it was like super noticeable where it was like zzz, you could hear it buzzing.
What was it? What was it?
It was like a wrapper on top of a cymbal or something that was laying around somewhere. Yeah, something like that, and it was just buzzing.
Right.
And we were like, that's kind of cool.
And did it play out?
No,
are you keeping that, or did you
I told
cut
her
that out?
I don't want that in there. But the rest of it, you can hear like little faint shaking of the trailer. I mean,
right.
But it's not really. You'll never hear it in the recordings. Is the thing. But
right,
it's there.
But being there, you experience
when you're listening
it.
to the drum tracks and the monitors are all the way up, and you can hear how it's just thunder in the trailer house.
But
Jay's like a really hard hitter too.
Yeah,
like,
but that's cool though.
It is cool, and it was really
that makes it for a very unique, experience. And the fact that the guys that are Serato and everybody else that's helping run all the sound and the engineering down there, they, that's their environment. They know how to do what they're doing in there.
Yeah, they've recorded a bunch of stuff out there, and they definitely know the room.
Yeah,
but it's. The thing for me, man, is it was just a little more rock and roll doing it that way than it would have been in a
big pro studio.
And I've been in those studios and recorded there, and it's cool, but it's a little more stressful. They try to make it not be stressful,
right?
They light candles and shit like that.
Yeah, and make it feel easy. But it's like if you do you ever go to the chiropractor?
Yeah, I've been once the chiropractor.
Okay, you go to the chiropractors, right? Smells nice. They may have candles. You know what I mean? Everybody tries to be real friendly and shit. And they want you to relax because they're going to be adjusting your bones and shit. But in all reality, somebody's going to be adjusting your bones and shit.
Yeah.
So there's this little bit of
some anxiety there.
Yeah. So it's probably the same going in the studio. It's like, this is nice, relaxing, whatever. I'm just going to lay some tracks down. It's like, but eventually I'm going to lay these tracks down. I'm going to have to decide that this is the sequence I want heard.
Right.
And so that's some stress.
Mm-hmm. It is some stress, but I mean, it's nice to let go of that stress and just go play and not worry about that. And it seems like it is like going to the doctor's office, that anxiety is there, but because you're nervous, it's a thing. You got to go do this thing.
Yeah.
And it gets, a lot of guys just get used to it and, no big deal. And I like it. And I think I'm just now kind of, it's been a while since I've been in the studio really to do a project, but
how long has it been?
For my own project,
yeah,
it's been 2.5 years.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
So, and how long are you expecting that we wait for this next project to come out?
Dude, like just a few more weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So you have a release date set?
Not really. I'm working with Parker down at Blue Light to see one in May, probably right after Larry Joe Taylor. I think I'm gonna.
That'd be awesome. Dalton Domino's dropping his album May 5th.
Yeah, mine will be out right at the same time.
That'd be pretty awesome. That'd be cool if
Will's dropping his at Larry Joe Taylor.
Yeah, no, he's dropping his April 18th at the street show here at Blue Light, and that's gonna that's gonna be fucking incredible. That's gonna be one of those.
Have you
shows.
seen his band lately?
I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen him individually, but I haven't seen him
play. I mean,
not recently, not since Rhymes and Vines. So that was Was
Josh in the band then?
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Well, no, I take that back. I saw them the last street show here at Blue Light.
Oh yeah. Well, they sound like the Allman Brothers.
Really?
They're really good, man.
Well, I mean, they're individually they're all just such solid musicians, and I've had the awesome opportunity to get to hang out with these dudes, you know, backstage and you know, after shows and things like that, and individually, you know, to see them in a bar or something. And so, you know, you realize everybody just fucking clicks and loves what they're doing and are behind the project and are willing to just, you know, figure out what the best sound is. And they're all such great musicians. They're capable of making the sound they all envision. And it's cool to see these guys just play more shows and get tighter. You know, there's a few bands that are out right now that are like that. You know, I know I talk about Dalton a lot on the podcast, but Dalton's band, you know, each of his don't look at me like that. But you know, each of, you know, I've got to know all these guys, you know, on, you know, off the record, on the record and stuff, and they're all creative. They're all just so and they play together well, and they realize what the general idea is, and they all have a sound that they want to make it, and they know how to meld it together well. And the more they play, the more they just get better at.
They have a bunch of
building
energy
a sound
right now, and it's really feeding them on.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a whole lot going for them.
Yeah, no, they're doing some great things.
They have every reason to be excited and happy about what they're doing.
Right. I mean, but they've still got a long ways to go too.
Well, you know, they're gonna have to. I mean, they've got enough want to and energy and brains and playing ability. They could do it.
Right. That's what I'm saying is they've got that same.
They're having a lot asked of them.
That same energy
to start out right now, but
yeah, they're kind of having to fill their shoes right now.
Yeah, but they're gonna learn real fast. It's like any job you take, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if your first 2 weeks, you're not gonna know how to do it. You know, but they're gonna show you. All these people that are around now, they're gonna show them what to do.
Right,
and they're gonna have to do it.
And everybody in the band individually is you know, well equipped to continue to learn and to evolve, and they're all, you know, tight enough that they'll be able to do it together, and that's an awesome thing to see.
All they got to do now is the most important thing. I think is just they need to get a lot more music together. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, I know Dalton's been writing a little bit more lately.
In general, like overall, like because I mean his music career is starting right now, and it's time to write some songs. You know. I know it's tough because he's on the road like everywhere.
Yeah, no, he's in town. He hit me up for a deal. He wants to hang out Sunday, and so we're gonna do that. But you know, I was like, cool, man. How long are you gonna be in town? He's like, 2 days maybe, something. And he said something like that, and it's like, man, I miss it. I miss being on the road, being home 2 days, but. At the same time, it's like I remember how fucking tired I was when I got home.
That's how I'm right now.
Knowing I have to and man, it's
ready to go home.
It's a sucky feeling, but at the same time, when you get home, even for that 1 day, that 2 days, there's just that oh my god, I'm home feeling. That's just it's so awesome to have, you know.
It is. It's way awesome.
But speaking of the road, what have some of the cooler shows and some of the cooler experiences from venues that you've got to experience on the road over the years? Because you've been playing for a while, right?
Yeah.
How old were you when you played your first gig?
Let's see, 23.
Cool, man. And how old were you when you started touring?
30. 30 probably. No, 31 maybe.
But that whole time you were just putting more music into this, you know, continuing to write, continuing to improve your craft. Not
really, man. Like, I played my first gig a long time ago, and I had like a cover band for a little while. Mm-hmm. I did the Pat Green thing.
I've covered a few Pat Green songs.
I played Crazy Eddie's Last Hurrah so many times. I don't ever want to play it again.
Fair
but
enough.
I did that a long time ago. It was way fun at the time, man. Like it was. And the music was different then, I guess. It was more like partying down to Jerry Jeff Walker.
Right.
Than going to watch Cross Canadian Ragweed was around then.
Yeah, and they were the hype party band, right?
Dude, I remember watching them at Blue Light when they had like 50 people there.
No shit.
Yeah, and they got paid. Tom paid them like $200 and like a little bit extra for some cigarettes. No joke, man.
Oh, dude, I could.
And then after that, just
you're breaking my heart.
2 weeks later, man, like something happened. I wasn't paying attention to them at that time, but because they were just a band at Blue Light.
Yeah.
But I thought they were awesome, and I spoke with Cody that night. I met him. I was like, y'all's band is great, dude. And he was like, yeah, we're just trying to get going. And the next, like 2 weeks later, man, they blew up. Like, and blew out, it was like 500 people. And I think what it was that Carney Man song did it.
Yeah, that was because that was their first big hit, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was around during that whole time, and but I quit playing. I played around. I know a lot of those older musicians, so I played around with them.
Right, and you just stepped out of it for a while.
Yeah, I went
what
to
what
I went
years
to
do you
work.
think you braked?
Dude, 2003 through 2010, 2009 maybe.
So you took a good amount of time off, man.
Yeah, and I hardly played at all.
Did you still practice and write?
Yeah,
a little bit,
I was
or?
living with a lot of musicians at the time.
So you were pretty much just absorbing at that
I
point.
I was doing a lot of writing and kind of getting better during that period. And they were real hard on me too. They're some of the best musicians ever. You know, like one of them, Mike Bernal, he plays drums for Dale Watson. He's fucking amazing and a great guy. And, you know, Joel, our sad bastard guy, you know, they were all pretty hard on me. They're like, what are you doing? What are you going to do?
Right.
Like, you haven't done anything with music. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm going to put
Right.
it.
You know, what, give me a chance. I'll show you what I'm going to do. You know, and that's, you know, there's a point where you kind of have to do that.
I would
you know?
just play my songs for those guys all the time. And so now, like, they're really cool. And they know all these songs. I played them for them for years.
Right.
Or those old songs that I got. And it was a nice experience. But I worked that whole time, trying to make some money and, you know, do that, straighten up. I worked for Coors, so I partied all the time.
Cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
But so you know, through playing all these years, you've got to play with some really cool people, and you know, I'm sure you've got to open for some awesome folk and have some awesome people in your band. If you could put together a dream band of people you've played with,
Okay.
or a dream tour, you and two what bands?
Oh, man, I don't know. We toured one time with L.A. Guns, the 90s or 80s metal band, like pre-Guns N' Roses.
Really?
Yeah, we did. And those guys were so awesome. Like, they partied so hard, man.
That's awesome.
But they were really sweet dudes. And they're kind of hillbilly, but they're all from, like, Hollywood.
Oh, so they're like West Coast hicks?
Yeah, they just,
How does that happen?
Yeah, and they're all tattooed, and they all have jet black hair. And they're all old as shit, and they've been drinking for 50 years.
So they're all pickled at this point.
Oh, they're pickled, yeah. And they took good care of us, and they partied down, and they went to all of our sets that we played and videoed us.
Were y'all playing together?
Yeah. Well, okay. It's like at most of the gigs, man. There was we were on a side stage.
Yeah.
Or it's like a. Okay, for example, one was in Florida, Jacksonville, and there was a metal show inside the venue, and then we're playing the outside stage of the venue, right? So we had, like, everybody was out there at our stage, and the band, because the band was hanging out with us, and they got up and jammed with us, and we were like, fuck yeah, dude, 1985 right now, you know, and it was awesome.
It has to be a legit flashback.
Yeah, oh yeah, and you know, we're talking to Tracy, the main guy, Tracy Guns, and he, you know, he's telling us stories about Izzy Stradlin and all this crazy stuff, man. Like,
right,
all
telling
amazing,
some of his, you know, war stories.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses stories and L.A. stuff, Motley Crue, all this stuff. He's just talking about it. We're like, yes, this is great.
Right.
But and I've done. Oh man, never mind. But it's great partying with those guys and touring with them. Because they have their tour managers pretty on top of everything, and I don't know, like, I would love to tour with another band like that because of the rock and rollness of it all.
Yeah, just that energy that it provides.
Yeah, but you know, that's not. I mean, we can hang in those shows with them, and we did because
you've played some rock and roll before, right? Not like, you know, in your personal sets and stuff, like wrote any rock and roll per se. But I mean, I know you've played a few rock songs, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love them.
So I mean,
it confuses
everybody
the
loves
shit
a little bit of rock and roll.
It confuses the shit out of people because we try to go play it like a dance hall, and it doesn't work. Like, we're like, we play something we can dance to. I'm like, you can dance to this,
dude. Good crowd at Blue Light, bust out some rock and roll. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know,
I mean, Taddy Porter does great there.
Oh yeah, and Jonathan Tyler. They're
JTNL's amazing.
Yeah, everyone forever will love rock and roll. Not like everyone, but like a lot of people. West Texas people especially.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's every time you go here's got a classic rock station.
Well, we grew
Everybody's
up on,
parents listen to that.
We grew up on country, but the whole time we were listening to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's parent had that guilty pleasure. You know, my mom listened to Def Leppard constantly.
Oh, me too, man.
I listened to as much, Def Leppard and Cinderella and Motley Crue as I did George Strait and Clinton Black and all sorts of, because I grew up in, the early 90s. So I was listening to, Diamond Rio and Brooks and Dunn and stuff like that as a kid growing up on that. And then my mom would flip it over and we're jamming some AC/DC. And so...
Yeah, and it's awesome. Huh?
Oh, it's great. It's awesome to have. I don't think that anybody, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you do, I don't care what you've done, I don't think that you should strictly play just one genre of music. You can perform strictly one genre of music. That's fine. But in your personal life, you've got, if you are a musician, just for sheer creativity, you should definitely listen and play to some other genres, even if it's just fucking around, even if that's what you do for your speed practice on scales or whatever.
You'd be crazy to say you only listen to one kind of music.
Yeah, I've met some people that are like that. It's like, man, I only listen to this, and
especially
it's like, okay,
now
cool.
that you don't have to go put it on a record player. I mean,
yeah, you don't have to flip out your CDs every time.
It's not a hassle. Now it's so easy to get. I mean, I know people that listen to jazz and listen to Texas country and listen to lots of 70s R&B and people that I thought all they liked was Johnny Bush.
Right.
But they're listening to all of it now, and you'd be crazy
if you flip through my Pandora stations, you're all sorts of different shit. I've got everything from Billie Holiday to Skrillex to Eminem.
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like
Gary Clark Jr. Like everything.
I think a lot of times with songwriters, like when they write songs, if they all sound the same, I think they're limited in their ability to do something different.
Yeah, or they're stuck on trying to do a certain want a certain sound.
Yeah, or that. But if you see, like, dude, I know songwriters that write, all different kinds of songs, just because they like all different kinds of music.
Right.
And I think every songwriter's like that, and they try.
It's just more. It's more inspiration. It's more stuff to take in and process. There's every song paints a picture. You know what I mean?
My playlist on my iPhone is crazy, and I want my set to be like that too, like my playlist, like what I like to listen to.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's not what everyone else wants to hear.
If you have to play it every day, if you have to practice it every day, you know what I mean? Why not make it as enjoyable for you as for the dudes that are hugging each other with a beer in their arm, waving back and forth at your show, or singing along. You've got to bring in energy, and you have energy for things you still like.
This EP that we did, we have like. It all kind of sounds, the styles are all there, but there's some of it sounds like Eddie Money, like from the 80s.
Dude.
We like brought all the chorus pedals back into it and everything. And
Well, Eddie Money just did a big thing in Dallas this last fall with Billy Joe Shaver and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Eddie fucking Money, where did that come from?
I know.
But that's cool though. I mean, he's cool as shit. He's got some great music out there, some good sounds, dude. My mom went to an Eddie Money concert. She never went to many shows, but every once in a while she'll still tell a story of when she went to see Eddie Money and he swung a bunch of fucking sweat all over her.
She loved it.
No, she was like, ugh, like what the fuck? And there was this chick next to her. That was a girl that she went with that was like, oh my God, I'm never washing my hair, whatever. Doing that whole thing. And my mom's like, anybody got a fucking wipey? Like,
oh man.
Or that's the story I was told. I don't fucking
know. My buddy
know.
Mike that I just told you about that plays for Dale Watson from here, the drummer. He proposed to his wife at Eddie Money concert on stage. Like Eddie got him up there,
dude.
Because he rolls like that. He knows those guys and shit. Like, damn, dude, that's awesome.
See, that would be a cool experience if you ever went around, or if you ever went around to proposing to somebody or doing stuff like that, do it on stage at a big live show. Like that would be fucking cool. And just like not tell a fucking soul, but just like the people involved, like the performers, the stage people. Sit. Your homies don't know. Your old lady doesn't know nobody. That'd be something cool to see, especially like fucking Eddie Money.
Yeah, Eddie Money. He's rock and roll, man. Like or my kind. I like all kind. I think it's all rock and roll. Just but a dude like that, his songs are cool. girls love it when he sweats on them. I mean, like he's doing something right.
Yeah, no, well, Cody Jasper is doing pretty well with the rock and roll sound right now. I see him live every chance I get.
He's
If
great,
I've got enough money and gas to get somewhere, even if I'm going to be a little hurting when I get back, it's like fuck it, we'll go to Amarillo, watch Cody Jasper, or wherever. And so, or anytime he's great. But almost every show I go to, there's a girl somewhere that's like his hair and that V-neck. And it's like he's got that rock and roll,
that whole Robert Plant thing.
Yes. Oh my God, his best Zeppelin cover I've ever heard is Cody Jasper. I don't care.
Oh really? Oh,
well, live cool. At least. He does a whole lot of love.
Oh yeah.
And it's rocking. I've seen him play it with a few different members of his band, and every time it's just tight and badass. Mm-hmm. So they usually jam the fuck out on that one.
I saw him jump up with Jonathan Tyler last time I caught that show. It was really good. I mean, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
I played with him a couple times. I like all those Amarillo guys.
Yeah, no, it seems that people that come from different places, like Amarillo, the people that play and come from Amarillo, they have a feeling, like not a sound, but there's an underline to their music, of some sort. And people from Lubbock, the same people from DFW, and it may not be recognizable until you realize these people are related to these areas, but it's like there's
once you really different get to know a lot of them,
different people come from different places.
You'll see the how the music is in those places.
Yeah, and how everybody's related to that scene and where they've been and what's changed and how they've changed things.
Will have similarities in their music that you'll notice, and it's really cool because they might play two different styles of music, but you still see that like that's what those dudes from Fort Worth do. Is that right there? And like. And then that's those Amarillo guys. They all do this thing, with the guitar or whatever. But you'll see
there's little things after you start to notice, and it's cool to see that. It's really
it is
as a people watcher, it's an interesting thing.
That's what made Lubbock such a good scene. I think is the way that the music blended here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Lubbock just in general is just a very. I mean, yeah, the weather fucking blows, but overall, I think it's a pretty. Generally inviting place, when I moved here, I didn't know fucking hardly anybody. I had a couple family members here in town, but other than that, I didn't know a soul, man. And I slowly have met this person and gone here, and met this person and gone here, and all these places that here I am now. I mean, I know a lot of different people, in a lot of different places, and it's I never once was it like, who the fuck are you, like like there's this, everybody just is very
supportive of each other.
Yeah, we want to see what everybody's capable of, like not in a testing way, but like, who are you? What do you bring to the table? Like what
Yeah,
in a good way, because everybody has something to offer. You know what I mean? And so it's more like an opportunity to present what you have versus, like I don't know, testing or pushing somebody, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's the people here are they're gonna support you and push you.
Right. If they like what you're doing, they'll be
fellow songwriters, other musicians. They're gonna. There's so many musicians
that come out of here. That the opportunity is you make it. If you put the work, if you put the effort, if you make the connections, then and you're just not a douchebag. You
I don't even think that's a requirement.
I don't know. I don't like douchebags.
Oh, nobody does.
Well, fair enough.
But they're out there. You'll find them.
Oh, absolutely. They're everywhere.
But yeah, dude. All of this, the people that leave Lubbock that play music all are pretty successful at it. Mm-hmm. I mean, or if they're not successful, they're good at it.
Yeah. No, this is a great town to hone your craft and get better. And there's inspiration and there's good people and everybody's hungry and just willing to push and work.
Yeah, and it's cool to see so many people out there in the world that were here for a bit and got that influence.
Right. Like if you go to the music hall out at South Plains, there's the little plaques and the little things and signature things on the wall, and it's like, oh, that's from so and so, and that's from they went to school here. They went to fucking Leanne Womack went to school out there.
Oh yeah.
Who knew?
Oh, yeah.
She's probably sat down and eat at the same restaurant here in town I have eventually.
She's probably ate at Savannah's all the time.
Or Pancake House.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's a great place.
Love Pancake House.
Yeah, there's so many great people. And then all the people behind the people all went to South Plains too, like Kim Warner, Jed Hughes. They make big records, real big. And then most of engineer, producer people around Texas all kind of went there too.
Yeah, well, and
even if
you
you
never see
didn't-
anybody that comes out of South Plains
And even
that's
if you didn't
not
go to South Plains,
prepared in some way.
you know, people went to the Tech songwriters too.
Well, Tech's got a great music program as well.
I only know a few people like Sean Pace, my buddy. He got a master's in bassoon from there.
Right on.
But he plays guitar for Blue Edmondson, or he did. So,
Well, I mean, I guess I guess he found a way to transfer that all over. I mean, studying any instrument that long, you're going to have a greater concept of music. But you're gonna, regardless, you're gonna learn something better if it's taught well.
Yeah.
You know, but I know a few people that have gone to the Lubbock or the Texas Tech music program, and a couple of them are percussionists, and they're just killer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they just I don't know. I don't know. I think the people who go to Tech music program learn a little differently than the people who go to.
Well, it's two different things altogether.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Just you see the people that come from one school and the people that come from the other. Not that any one is better or greater than the other, but they're
they
still
have 2 more years on it. You know,
Yeah,
they do it
there's
for 4 years.
Yeah, I was about
it's just that much more.
There's that more technicality.
Education. Yeah, they're all tremendous musicians.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
They go on to big things. Like they'll go be in a symphony or something.
Mm-hmm.
I met a guy the other day down in Mason. He played viola, and he lived in California for a long time.
Yeah.
He played on all the major movie soundtracks. Like he did Forrest Gump, like all these movies. And he retired. He's only like 45.
Jesus.
And he retired from that because he got tired of going to the studio. He's like, got really tired of going to the studio every day. I'm like, oh yeah, you got it rough, buddy. But
yeah, no shit. Show up in fucking sweatpants.
So, but he made a fortune doing that, and then he moved out to the hill country and bought a winery, and now they have like live music out on their porch. It's great. It's a great time. But
that's awesome. But I mean,
but it's a great deal that's what those guys go on to.
Yeah, but that's great to see that.
Those all the tech educated folks. And then you got, it's like the other day I was in Fort Worth and I'm driving around and I hear on the ranch, like in 1 hour I hear 3 Lubbock guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Will Green, Grady Spencer, and Charlie Shafter.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you know? And I know there's more Lubbock guys around there that they could play in the next hour.
Right, well, and you listen to different people's albums, you know, or different songs on the radio, and you're like, okay, there's a Lubbock guy that plays in this band.
There's a Lubbock guy.
Yeah, you know, and it's really cool to see. But I mean, there's a lot of Fort Worth people that play here,
Mm-hmm.
or that have played around here and stuff. It's so universal, you know. The Texas scene in general, everybody's just kind of like, I don't know, accepting of each other. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
In a great way.
And
It's like,
everybody
oh, you
knows
play music
everybody.
too? Cool. Let's jam. Like,
Let's hang
you
out.
know?
Yeah. It's nice. Everybody knows everybody, and you just got to get out there on the road, and you'll get plugged in.
yeah, after you start meeting people.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I noticed, I mean, I haven't met everybody, but you hear a lot about people before you meet them. Or you meet people and then you start to hear more about them.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you
people
don't
either,
really.
people either come with or
you can't
gain
really
a
go
reputation.
around this business being an
A
asshole.
dickhead. See, yeah, I've seen, you know, the whole douchebag thing.
Because everybody will turn their back on you fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody likes assholes.
No, who wants
or
I
douchebags.
don't like to deal with dickholes, douchebag. Whatever
Yeah.
profanity, you know, insert profanity here.
But yeah, they'll turn their back on you quick, man, and rightfully so, because this business is already hard enough. You don't need an asshole around unless you're paying him,
Right.
You know, or he's doing something for you that you need.
Yeah, I mean, inadvertently, you're gonna have to deal with an asshole somewhere.
Oh,
there's,
they're
you know,
everywhere.
there's asshole venue
You
owners.
need your own
there's,
asshole is what you need. He's like he's our asshole.
like
guy.
a trained asshole.
Yeah, the asshole that goes and gets all your money.
You know, that badass tour managers.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys. They should have some sort of award ceremony for tour managers.
Agreed.
They work so hard.
Man, I was a tour manager for a while, and it's hard.
That's
fucking
the worst
work.
job in the music business from my perspective. Like I would never sign on for that job.
Man,
Unless I just wanted
honestly,
to be,
man, if I could go back to it and do this mobile, then I would.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's hard work, but I loved it, man. It's
not even
the
it's
long
not
hours.
Even the work. It's an annoying job.
I don't think. I mean, It depends on who you're working for, I
You're-
guess.
well,
But
see-
inadvertently, the goal is to get however many members of the band, insert number of assholes. Because after you're
It's
on the
the-
road
it's
with these
the
guys long enough,
assholes.
they're still your friends, but you hate each other.
Yeah.
For a little bit on little things.
It's gonna happen.
It does. Your siblings, great example.
Mm-hmm. Roommates even, but you live in the same space,
Exactly.
like in the same room.
You just confinement with somebody, but you're with these people for days at a time in a van or in a vehicle, on a stage, helping get everything set up. You eat with these people, you sleep with these people.
You know exactly what they do weird.
You,
and what
you stop at a truck stop and this dude's the stall over. But
yeah, your poop buddies all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
it's
but-
weird, but I mean, like,
But you have to get these people to a venue on time, get everything set up, get through all the sound check, everything, make sure there's no difficulties. Then you find out where you can get your merch set up. You set that up if it's time. Then you've got to, figure out the payments right and get the hotel booked, figure out everybody's eating, keep everybody from fucking something up.
and drive everybody around.
Yes, you drive. Hey man, you need I need a cigarette. Hey man, you give me a drink.
Hey man.
Hey, split this appetizer with me. If I bring a chick home tonight, you mind sleeping on the other bed? Like,
Yeah.
So you but you do these things, and but after all, you just or in the end, and you've got to square up and get the money. Kind of be that asshole.
Yeah, you
And general PR. So you sell the merch during
the
the
only
show,
time
help
you've-
everybody break down, load, unload. It's constant, but I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love my
You're
house.
always the last one to go to sleep and the first one to get up.
Yep, because you're the one responsible for van call and
Yeah.
making sure that everybody's at least settled in and not running through hotel halls.
It's definitely,
Or-
and a lot of the times you're a sound guy too, you know.
Mhm.
So if you don't have any experience with that, I mean, you should get some.
I have
if you're thinking about this
very little.
profession.
I mean, I've done some sound work, but it's hard to. I don't know. It's something I'm still getting my head around. I can do basic shit, but
Yeah.
I mean, if something goes wrong and I don't know what's wrong,
You know,
I
on the
don't know
upper
what's
levels
wrong.
of all
Like,
the tour manager stuff, you probably won't have to do that. But
no, but just like set up for an acoustic gig real quick, so or like bring the PA
tell him
set
to
up.
do it himself.
Well, no, okay. I'm sorry. I said acoustic gig, but when Dalton was playing the, he did a couple of fraternity parties, Raidergate things, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
For the football games, and we had Rob Phillips help us with a lot of sound there, and he helps me with the podcast.
Yeah.
But we were over there, and so I helped him do a lot of stuff, and he's a huge help to me.
Oh yeah, Rob's amazing.
Rob is the fucking man.
Yeah,
So-
I worked with him since he's been at Blue Light, and he's not there anymore, and I miss him. But
Yeah, I miss him too.
It
Sometimes
was
I go in
just
there and I
not,
like,
like-
look up at the booth, and it's like, oh, Rob's not there.
yeah, he had us dialed in too. It was just nice working with him.
Mm-hmm. He's just an overall great dude.
Mhm.
And he hits me up after work. Some days we just hang out.
Yeah, and I didn't know that he was helping you with the podcast,
Mhm.
and I recommended you talking to Rob. I was like, you need to call Rob, man.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, no,
Take care
Rob
of
helps
you.
me do this already. Like,
Yeah.
but he's shout out to Rob Phillips. He's a fucking badass.
Yeah, he's great. He's wonderful.
Yeah. So are you gonna be playing any dates here soon? Anywhere?
Just kind of bouncing around Lubbock a little bit over the next month, and just April a little bit up more out in Fort Worth and Stephenville, and then after Larry Joe Taylor, I'm gonna hit the road for like a 2-week tour.
Right on, man.
Do
Are you
like
gonna?
CD releases.
Yeah. Are you gonna go to LJT?
Oh man, I'm on the fence. I don't know.
I think you should go. I don't think you should try to do all week. I don't think you should try to go hard. But even just to go and sit around a couple of the after show campfires,
Oh yeah,
just to go.
yeah, I know. And everybody will be there, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's Larry Joe Taylor's big
Yeah.
fucked up family reunion every year. It's awesome.
It's a great time. I want to go see Will and them play because I know that it's gonna.
Oh,
be,
it's gonna be rocking.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know who all's on the lineup every day, but I mean that would be my guess for one of the best shows.
Oh,
this year.
absolutely. That's on my list. I'm gonna try to be bringing some of my podcast stuff down there and be doing I want to do quick little 10-20 minute sit downs
Yeah.
with and release a couple of 3-4 of them at a time. You know, if I get that many people.
Yeah.
You know, because you can catch somebody during the day, be like, hey, man, I've got some stuff cooking at the campsite. Sit and bullshit with me talking to this mic.
If you can get over there by the radio row or whatever, you know, you can.
I think I'm going to be trying to sleep under the Red Dirt Rebel camper.
Doing your podcast under the camper.
Maybe.
Well, I love going down there and visiting with the radio folks because
they've all got great advice.
A lot of them are really just, they're cool folk. They're cool people, you know. Like Susie Q down in Snyder. Mm-hmm. She's usually out there. Dave Wild's usually out there. And some other folks, you know.
Do you know if Cheyenne's going to be there this year? Or does her station go?
I don't think so, but I think she's going.
She needs to.
Well, I saw her at the songwriter thing in Midland the other night. She came out.
How did that go?
It was okay, man. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of contestants this year. But it came down to Cleto Cordero and Austin McManus, right? Is his name? And Dusty Cook.
Very nice.
And and Cleto ended up winning, and I was happy for him. And they get to go do the Outlaws and Legends. Thing.
Cool.
I think, but I don't really know. I think that event was for a spot in the finals of their songwriter contest in Abilene, or up there where they do that festival.
Oh, okay. So it's not for sure if they actually get to
play it. Yeah, I think he gets to go the next round. But I mean, I think the grand prize at the Midland one was like $1,000. So good on him. I think you should, if you're a songwriter, you should go enter one of those things because you never really know how it's going to turn out. Because there was only those 3 guys were the only 3 guys in the whole competition.
Really?
Over weeks, like some weeks, no one win at all. So, you could get lucky in one of those situations.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know,
it's good to go out there.
And somebody would have come in there that night too. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from their performances, but if somebody would have come in there that night with just like 2 like great songs, they would have walked out there with $1,000. So,
they were going to weigh $1,000 every night.
No, it was just for the final of the whole thingy.
Yeah, no, but if somebody with you know the skills went down there and put it out, they could have probably
they could have probably won $1,000. And they did one at the office not too long ago. There was like ridiculous amounts of money.
The office had a singer-songwriter competition?
They did a couple years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like $4,000 or something for the winner.
Fuck me.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I need to start writing songs.
Yeah, no, dude, I need to start finding out what competitions play, and I need to start writing and playing again. Shit.
I know, but the Blue Light one, which is, I guess it's my favorite one because everybody's there and a lot of people enter and there's a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah, there's so much camaraderie and the competition's always good. Even if there's some years that are better than others.
They need to get a big $4,000 grand prize though, and you'll see some songwriters show up out of the woodwork. I bet put the word out and you'll have some real legit guys try to come out. Not to take anything away from who's doing it now, but you always want to get more and better and improve every year.
Yeah.
And a lot of those songwriters, those real good ones that just kind of stay in their little pockets, where they're from, then whenever they get out of town, and they just go blow some people away, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, I've seen people come here.
Dude, Zach Wilkerson, Zach Wilkerson? Great dude. And we were playing down at O-Bar one time, which is our dive bar gig, And he was in town, and his gig got, like, double booked. So he texted me, like, dude, do you have anything I could do? And I was like, come open for us and bring your merch. And that dude walked in the door and just killed it. I mean, just him and his guitar. And he had the whole place on its toes, man.
Dude, that's badass.
And he sold all kinds of merch that night. At O-Bar, which is, like, crazy because...
Yeah, I've never even heard of anybody taking merch into O-Bar before.
I do... Sometimes, but I have a lot of friends up there.
Right.
But yeah, he was just selling it to strangers. And that never happens because it's like Weekend at Bernie's in there every night. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he killed it. And it's like that when, you get one of those real genuinely talented dudes that comes to town. And Zach, that's how he got in the songwriter thing at Blue Light. He came in and killed him. Eric Willis, the same way.
Yeah. Well, and the year I competed, and I didn't make it past the first round. I didn't expect to. I just wanted to do it for the experience because I would think everybody should have the experience if you played.
I totally hate songwriter competitions, just in principle.
Well, you can't really judge an art.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't sit there and.
I mean, there's things that are appealing and not appealing, but you can't really judge what is what.
And they're judging, like, make no mistake, they're judging on your performance.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not judging on your songwriting ability. So, I mean, it's a factor on the score sheet, but it's not the biggest one. And it definitely, if there's a tie, because like, well, I liked his songs, I liked her songs, then they go in the back and they're like, well,
who played better?
Who was going to play on the stage at Larry Joe Taylor and look the best?
Yeah.
And sound the best. So that's ultimately what happens there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-mm. It's just that's what that was.
It's a huge factor. Nobody wants to. Yeah. Somebody can be a great singer songwriter
so if you
and perform well, but if you don't have an energy, if you don't bring a presence with you on stage,
so
I
got into songwriter competition one time. I started it, right? I started that whole thing with David Brooks, and I entered it one year and I made it through the first round, and then I got in the finals.
Yeah,
and I was so pissed off that I was even there. It was packed. Larry Joe Taylor sitting there, and Neely and all these people. Will Green's a judge, and I was so just the whole time I was there, I just got more mad and mad and mad. Just like, the fuck am I doing here? You know, like, I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I don't have anything I want out of this. Like, playing at Larry Joe Taylor would be cool.
That's an incredible opportunity.
Right. But at that time, I was like, why are you calling this a songwriting competition? I was just so mad. So Red said I was all in motherfucker mode.
Yeah.
And I got on stage and I took requests for my 2 songs.
Oh,
and I played "Fuck Me Up" and I played "Dixie." Probably the most, like, you can't say the F word in a song, and then the other one is my least favorite fucking song I've ever written.
Fair enough. I like "Fuck Me Up." That's one of my favorite jams.
I like it too, and I thought that, honest to God, is one of my better songs that that's my songwriting ability. I think it's one of my favorites.
I think it's one of the ones I mean, you do a great job performing as well, but I think that's one of the ones, like, it's one of my favorites, period. I think it's written well. I think it sounds well, but you just, get to see you play it, whether it's acoustic or full band. I've seen you play both. Yeah. It's one I stop in and check in out. If I'm getting a drink, I turn around and watch. If I'm, whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those songs. Mm-hmm. That's why I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'm going to make these guys grow up for a second. But Larry Joe's like, I can't have that on stage at Larry Joe Taylor. I was like, well.
What, you can't say the F word on the stage at Larry Joe Taylor?
Not even in a, I mean, he doesn't want it there, So, I don't know. Somebody probably has, but
I don't see why not. I mean,
but there you gotta. But it was for the. You gotta keep in mind it's not for the big stage.
We say fuck on here, but
and the gig isn't the big stage up there.
Yeah,
it's that side stage over there, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. But that also stage, right?
But and you play at like noon is what it is.
Yeah, but that's still an awesome opportunity.
It's older people that are sitting there, and like, they're not. It's not. Oh, you can't get all fucky there, But I don't blame him, and I was acting like a dickhead, so...
you were in motherfucker mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I really just did not care, man. And David Brooks is like, I'm really proud of you, man. I was like, don't be. I was just acting like an asshole. But that was the last time I told myself that's the last time I'm ever going to enter a songwriting competition. Because it's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it could be a great, if you look at it from the standpoint of, it could be a great thing for your music career.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a good thing.
It's definitely not a bad thing.
For personal confidence and for exposure, because people are going to go, whether you win or lose. Somebody heard your crap.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't mean to call it crap as in a,
I would rather have just played at the Blue Light and not been in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to say it, man, but I don't.
You'd rather just go play a singer-songwriter Monday than go play a singer-songwriter comp.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go.
It's not about.
If anything, they ought to have showcases, and then if they want to put a performer or a quote unquote competition aspect on it at all, then don't have judges. Have a host, but don't have judges, and have a bucket or something, and everybody that was there gets the chance to grab a thing, and you vote for who you want, and that person gets a merch deal or something like that.
That's kind of whack too, because
if you bring a bunch of people, or if you're just there by yourself, I see that as a factor, but but to actually get a panel of judges and not talking shit on judges or anything or the idea of music competitions. I like going to singer-songwriter competitions, but I like to go for the shows, for the showcase aspect. I like to go to. It's interesting to see who won, but. Oh, who's playing there? What are they playing? What have they been working on? I've never heard of this guy. What's he do? I'm interested.
It's really great.
It's an opportunity to see what's going on.
It's good, and I'm not ever sad that I started that thing. And I did the first competition, and it was great, and everything went well. The blue light was packed. I met so many songwriters that way, and they're friends of mine today.
Yeah. And
it's every year I try to go at least watch the finals because. All your coworkers are there, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the finals usually kind of weeds out the local guys who just wrote a few songs and want to go play them in a competition. So in the finals, it's usually a good, solid group of dudes who play for a living,
right,
or are close to it.
Yeah, well, and there's also even the dudes, some of the dudes that don't make it to the final rounds that are up and coming, that are trying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's interesting from an aspect of an artist, or like me, I do my podcast, and I'm just interested in meeting people in the music business. Mm-hmm. They're interesting to me. They're relevant to me. So I've never heard of this person before. This is their first singer-songwriter competition, or they don't have a big following yet or anything. So okay, cool. Well, I like the way this dude sounds. Or cool. Yeah. Well, I haven't heard of him. He's new. He could be somebody someday. Or
like this last guy,
he may be the dark horse of this thing. Jacob Furr. Exactly. I'd never heard of him before the competition.
I'd heard his name dropped around the Fort Worth area, but I'd never caught a show. And then it was really super cool to watch him play because he really is that good.
Mm-hmm.
His songs are amazing.
I mean, I'd seen him and he looks familiar. I'm sure I've met him somewhere. But
everybody with glasses and a beard looks the same.
Yeah, but
me included.
In the right glasses.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hey man, I hate to go ahead and cut this short, but you and I go way back, so we actually get to, talk, or I don't know. This has been the most comfortable podcast I've done for sure.
We're just going to keep talking anyways.
But, yeah, absolutely. But we've been doing this thing for about an hour, so I'm just go ahead and let you, this is the part of the podcast where you get to plug all of your sponsors and friends and where people can contact your music and find your music and follow you on social media and whatnots.
Okay. Brandon Adams. Check it out. Facebook. That's about all I got, man. Twitter.
Right on, man. So are you on like Reverb Nation or iTunes?
Oh, yeah.
Or?
Well, you'll find a lot under Brandon Adams and the Sad Bastards on Reverb Nation and on Facebook. And we used to have a website, but we're just using the social medias and Reverb Nation now.
Cool, man.
So just check it out. I'll be putting some new music up here in a couple of months on iTunes, CD Baby, all that good stuff.
Right on, man.
Yeah, so you can, and we'll have some sort of store up too for all the CD copies and shirts and stuff, all the cool stuff.
Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Don't forget to like this podcast and follow us here at Stripes and Strings. Follow like Brandon Adams on Facebook and make sure to catch him at a live show. Don't forget to support your local live music scene, wherever y'all are listening at. Just catch a local show, buy some merchandise. That's what gets these dudes down the road, and just stay tuned in, y'all. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.